Good evening, everyone. We're here tonight to pay tribute to and celebrate 75 years of the place we all call home.
To remind ourselves of how great it is to live, learn, work and play here.
Welcome to Craigan.
Where settlers lived within the age of bronze, where rafts were made upon its rocky ground, where James's soldiers rested at the time of the siege, where gentle deer did graze among the trees.
The decision in 1944 to build the first 500 homes in the Craigan area of the town plays out like so many well-known films about injustice and indiscrimination that families here would eventually watch on their TVs in their front rooms.
At that time, families and young couples were in desperate need of housing. I mean, a man can only love his mother-in-law for so long.
Some people had to start squatting in abandoned encampments all around the city because the powers that be faffed about that much. It wasn't until 2 years later, in August 1946, before the first houses appeared.
One local man, Adam Smith, said at the time, "Desperation has drove me to this. We have been living in squalor. For 8 years, myself, my wife, and 5 children, 4 boys, 1 girl, have been living in one single room in a house in Limewood Street. I couldn't take it anymore," he says. "I only moved here so I could get a house."
That's not the worst to hear it either. The Dohertys had 23 people living in 3 rooms in one house. 23 people in one house.
Which stories?
Joe and George.
Joe and George who?
For Stanley's Walk.
Top or bottom? No, I'm only messing. No, I'm only messing.
The reason for the delays were ridiculous, silly even. Let's be honest, too hilly to build on. When has a hill ever stopped a building? Look at Shipkey Street, or Rock Road, or in Greenan for sick.
Well, it's more of a mountain than a hill, to be honest. But hey, that's what makes us Craigan people so special. We can live at high levels without taking a nosebleed, just like the people in the Andes.
It's been well documented in the local history books that Unionists wanted to maintain control of the old Londonderry Corporation, and they used home ownership, or the lack of it, as a way of keeping the voting power with them.
They pulled several fly ones by gerrymandering the electoral wards. But do you know what? I think they kind of did us a favour.
What do you mean?
Well, Unionists controlled everything. That included decisions that affected the prosperity, health, education and aspirations of the majority of the Catholic and nationalist people. Eventually, we all know the worm turned.
What are you saying?
The worm turned? Oh, that's a well-known saying.
No, it's not. Nobody talks like that.
What it means is people had had enough. Like Oliver Twist, they demanded more. Even Archie Halliday, a Unionist councillor, when he was asked for his opinion about the gerrymandered electoral boundaries, even he could see that the worm was going to turn eventually.
Come to order, please. Kindly allow Alderman Holliday to give his remarks. Once the remarks have been given, then you'll have time for comment.
Thank you. You've asked for my comments, and you know perfectly well that if you put injustice underground, if you take a course that is unjust, disguise it as you may, but it will eventually arise and come out sometime. Maybe not immediately, but some time or other, and will wreak havoc that you probably did not see, but should have foreseen when you planted that injustice.
Prophetic or what? Planted injustice, along with its comrades, unfairness, misery, oppression, even for their own people. Catholics and Protestants have lived next door to each other throughout this city. Wasn't all rosy for them either.
Love was planted too, though, by our mas and das, grannies and grandas, good teachers, great neighbours, and faith.
Mary, how long have we been going together?
Long enough now, and well, you know. Why? You're getting fed up with me. Looking for pastures now.
Look, Mary, that'll be the day. Give me a kiss.
Way on. My dad will be coming around any minute to walk my granny home.
Just a wee one right here. You'll be glad you did. Because I've got a present for you.
All right, just a wee one. Right, where is it?
Jeepers, give me a chance.
You said you weren't going to get me anything.
Wait there 2 seconds. It's your 18th birthday, Mary. I've asked your dad, and it's just you. Will you?
Of course. There's just one problem.
What?
I'm not moving in with your ma.
No, Mary, no. Jeepers, come on. There's no room in yours. And I'm not sleeping on with Brian, Michael, Joe, and wee Hugh.
I think Mommy let us have the scullery at night. Besides, people have started with far worse. And my mommy's heart would break me moving out.
We live on the same street, Mary.
That's not the problem, and well, you know. Your mommy thinks she is somebody, and your Geraldine is full of herself. I'd be the odd one out. I can't afford the luxuries that your Geraldine can on my wages. And I forgot to tell you, Oil Man Willie's not going to pay my full stamp now I'm 18. I'll have to get a new job.
No, well, we have my wages, right? We'll be all right. And Tom's leaving me to plaster on my own pretty soon, so I'll be able to work for myself. We'll be grand. We'll be grand.
My Aunt Florence always said I should have followed her to Tilly's, and I should have.
No.
Maybe she'll get me a start.
Mary, come here. My ma thinks the worldly. She can't help her notions. She wants the best for all this. And anyway, look, our Geraldine will be getting married soon. We'll have a whole room to ourselves.
Until we get a flat? Aye. Or a house. Imagine, I hear they're building brand new ones up Foyle Hill. Hundreds of them. Or we could emigrate. Sure, Paul and Michelle moved to Birmingham.
I thought you said you don't want to leave your ma. See, if we go anywhere, it'll be to America.
Aye.
My dad's Uncle Willie. He lives in New York. He could put us up for a while until we get on our feet.
It's exciting, I know. But would you not miss Derry? Looking out over the River Foyle. Sure, there's nowhere as beautiful as Derry.
See, that's the thing, though. See, as long as I'm with you, I don't care where we live.
Right. Oh, it's settled then. We'll move in with me, Ma. Mum, tell the rest of them the great news.
What?
Throughout the early 20th century, people were dying in Derry because of the appalling housing conditions. Craigan was a vital development for Derry. It is to be noted that the estate was built where it was to keep nationals in one electoral area, so to ensure unionist control of the London Dairy Corporation.
I'm not moving on a Saturday or when it's raining. Do you hear me, Paddy?
All right, love, I hear you.
Why, Mommy? I can't wait to clean my room.
Are you all right, love? You definitely take after your dad's side of the family. And where's our Carmel?
Your mother's superstitious, Claire.
No, I'm not. My Auntie Myra moved on a Saturday, and within 6 months, she was moved back out again.
Lily, that's because she won the polls and got her mother's prefab up a Glen.
I always wanted one of them, you know.
We all know it was wrote on the front page of Friday's Journal.
For God's sake.
Listen, tell your mommy I have a coal run on Friday and Saturday, so it'll have to be Sunday.
Sunday? No, Paddy. It can't be a Sunday. The time we've been to Mass, gone to my mammy's for dinner, and then gone up to see me Auntie Eileen. Sure, I'll not be fit. Go on, bring that wee chair over, darling.
The boys and me'll do it then.
Ah, okay.
Charlie, Tony, come here, boys. Look at this. Listen, I need your help on Sunday. My lorry will take most of the stuff, right? But you'll have to take some stuff up in your bikes. Listen, you'll have to head on up, and I'll ask your Uncle Jack if he can lend a hand.
Sure, I can skate on up my new boots.
Okay, all right, Carmel.
It's the cup final, Dad. You know that. Football. Always football. And I'll tell you all something else. You're not taking that old dog.
What?
It says very clearly on our new tenancy agreement, no animals, no pigeons, no pigs. And I'm not losing a brand new house for the sake of an old dog.
Well, I'm not leaving her.
Oh,
Mommy!
dear God.
Did I hear you say we're leaving our lassie?
Here we go. Tiny tears yourself.
How could you, Mommy? Sure, she knows she saved me daddy's life.
What? What's she talking about?
When he was brought home by Uncle Jack to her.
Emer, I don't think Daddy wants you to talk about that.
Sure, Seymour, look, your mommy doesn't need to know
She
about
does,
that. Lily, it's club final, look. And sure, he's a goalkeeper. You'll have to head on up.
Hello. I can skate on up my new boots. And Johnny Gallagher has that wee van.
Okay, no. Maybe you could hold on the back and then I could pull you up Craigan Hill on your new skates.
Oh, Dad, go and listen to Bob. Hope, not very original, Charlie. Grow up.
Mommy, I need to go. I can't miss it. I'm their lucky mascot.
Here we go again. I tell you what, why don't you just take Claire and our Emer and she can go watch the football with you as well? And sure, I'll just move myself. Or maybe our wee lassie will give me a hand. And Carmel, if you mention those skates that your Auntie Marie sent you one more time.
Our Claire can't go. She doesn't like football.
I'm a better footballer than you, Charlie. Mommy, I'm not leaving Lassie.
In fairness, Charlie, she has a point. You've 2 left feet.
I let her go. I feel sorry on her.
I swear to God, Claire, you better not be playing football in those new shoes, because if you ruin them, you'll be running about in your bare feet. Charlie, where are you? Get those shoes cleaned, would you, boy? And what shift are you on anyway next week?
First, Mommy, the daughter's brought their Bruno and Panko Logan. You want to see a sizing?
Look, we're not even moved in yet.
Did you mention to your supervisor that I'm looking to get into the BSR?
That's not how it works, Tony.
Aye, it does. But you got your job and we Johnny's.
I'm only in the door, Tony. Go and give me a chance. Didn't you let me make a tea?
Listen, Charlie, you're going to finish helping me with co-runs just yet. All right? Look, you're getting on the job experience that many a man pay for.
I don't want to be a commander.
What? Not good enough for you, is it?
You don't give me anything for it.
Oh,
He's looking for wages as well.
you're just a Scrooge.
Humping coal bags, working the BSR, having the crack, or walking dogs is bound to pay is what he means.
Listen, I'll tell you all this. As long as you all do an honest day's work and you don't owe anyone any money, you'll be all right. Now listen, Paddy, when are we going to move? I can't wait to show your granny, me Auntie Eileen, Peggy and our Brenda.
But sure, were they not already up and seen it? Did you not persuade the site man to let you in?
Oh, get yourself on. That was a full week ago and I'm just so excited. Imagine waking up in pure luxury every single morning. Not having to go outside to use the facilities. And you boys, my boys, you'll have your own room. And me, I'll be able to hang my washing up outside. Aiming for the moon.
Do I have to move school?
I want to move school.
I'm so glad I've left school.
Kicked out, you mean?
Dad!
I can't stand my teacher, Mommy. She ignores me and tells me to be quiet even if I'm asked to go to the toilet.
What I tell you about that language? You take after your dad's side of the family too.
That's because you always have your hand up, asking annoying questions that the teacher does not want to answer. Be more likeable like me, and you'll be grand.
Listen. You two girls will stay in the Long Tower until it comes your time to go to St. Cecilia's. And you boys, Tony and Charlie, you'll stay and finish your school, just as me and your dad has said, until you get a job in the BSR.
Could Tony not stay in school, Ma? He's got the brains, and Miss Dory always said that he could be a teacher.
She said I make a good nurse. I'll be able to help my granny, and you, and Daddy when you're old.
Well, she said I make a saint out of someone. What does that mean?
Oh. Emer. Never you mind. Just put your trust in God, all of you, and don't look too far ahead.
Amen.
Now listen, Paddy. Where were we? What day are we moving?
The Mara, what's it?
Yes!
In the 1950s, oppressed people around the world began to demand civil rights and change. Increasingly alert to events in the wider world, Derry noted the US, South Africa and other struggles for justice, and by the mid-1960s, small groups in Derry and elsewhere were taken to the streets to demand action on housing, jobs and votes. Some unionist politicians were making promises of change, but opposition from within their own ranks frustrated this and civil rights protests spread. The Northern Ireland Civil Rights Association was formed to coordinate actions. In the USA in 1955, Rosa Parks refused to sit at the back of a bus in Montgomery, Alabama. In 1957, the National Guard had to escort 9 black school children past racist protesters in Little Rock, Arkansas. In March 1960, 60 black anti-apartheid protesters were shot dead in Sharpeville, South Africa. In August 1963, 200,000 civil rights supporters gathered in Washington to hear Martin Luther King proclaim, "I have a dream," and Bob Dylan unveiled "Only a Pawn in Their Game," highlighting the manipulation of the white poor by racist politicians. And in Dungannon in County Tyrone in 1963, housing protesters gathered outside a council meeting carrying placards. If our religion is against us, ship us to Little Rock. The demonstration led to the formation of the Campaign for Social Justice, the North's first civil rights organisation.
We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We are not afraid someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday.
We Shall Overcome became the anthem of the civil rights movement in Ireland. On the brink of the 1960s, British Premier Harold Macmillan boasted, "We have never had it so good." But in Derry, people were having it as bad as ever. Only householders could vote in local elections. Business owners had multiple votes. The gerrymandered system still operated. Thus, a city with a 67% nationalist majority was still under unionist rule. Mass unemployment remained endemic. There was some work available for women in the shirt factories, but male unemployment ran close to 30%. The time had come to demand change.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. We shall live in peace. We shall live in peace. We shall live in peace someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. We shall overcome someday.
British and Unionist politicians fumed at the existence of free dairy, but internment had stiffened the community's resolve. An anti-internment march was planned for the 30th of January 1972. 15,000 people gathered in Craigan on a bright, crisp winter's day. There were rumours that the paratroopers were among the heavy British Army presence in town, but the mood was cheerful. A peaceful day was expected.
It happened on a Sunday afternoon, on a lovely, bright, crisp winter's afternoon, on a perfect day for walking. There were gunshots, stones, and bullets on a lovely, bright, crisp winter's afternoon. There was chaos, panic, and death, disbelief upon the faces, fear and bewilderment. The seconds seemed so long. They're firing bullets at us. It was not supposed to be like this. Awesome to behold. And then our minds locked shut. And then our minds locked shut. and then our minds lock shut, and then our minds lock shut, and there remains, and there remains Jackie Duddy and Willie Nash, Jerry Donahue, Willie McKinney, Jerry McKinney and Jim Ray, Johnny Johnston and Bonnie McGuigan, Paddy Doherty, Kevin McElhinney, John Young, Mickey Kelly, Hugh Gilmore and Michael McDade. Let us remember it happened on a Sunday afternoon, on a lovely, bright, crisp winter's afternoon, on a perfect day for walking.
Bloody Sunday was the day that changed everything. The day itself and the Widgery whitewash contributed to the escalation and a continuation of the conflict for the next 25 years. In spite of the conflict and the heartbreak, Craig people continued to live their lives and made the best of every opportunity that came their way.
Ma, I'm away on.
Declan, mind where you go, and if you get into any bother, remember, it'll be me you'll have to deal with. Never mind the army, the RUC, or whoever else should come to the door.
I'd never get into any bother, Mommy. I'm just an innocent bystander, exercising my rights to walk where I want, when I want.
I'm telling you now, I don't want no raids in this house. Do you hear me? And you work in the morning too.
Well, sure, they'd never catch me. I'm a flying machine, Speedy Gonzales. And anyway, I'm just one of many in a crowd.
Just don't be so smart. I'm telling you now, Declan. I'm going up the chapel later on. And if you're not back by the time I come out, you will be in bother. Now, remember, civility at all times. Now, if you see our Joe and Mickey, send them back. It's time we run.
Will do. I'm away on. Oh, people at the door
Okay.
for you. Yes, Paddy. Evening, everybody.
Hey, Paddy, Mary, Billy, what can I do for you? Are you collecting? Sure, hang on to go and get my purse.
No, we're not looking for money, Lily.
No, not this time.
not this time.
Funny, I was just saying to our Brenda the other day about us all collecting money. You know, to build the chapel. Do you remember? We organised a sales of work. If I remember correctly, our street won.
Well, if my memory serves me correctly, I think you'll find the priest called a tie for first place.
Well, sure. We got it built anyway, didn't we?
Hey, whoa, come on, ladies. You have to get me referee. Come on, let's change the subject.
Look, we got it built the same way as always with everybody, okay? Hard days, but they were good days too, yeah.
You can't beat it, hey? You can't beat that club. You know what I mean? Them wee concerts and what have you, they're fantastic. You couldn't get the likes of it in New York.
I'm telling you something. If it wasn't for the fact our Waynes had to climb over buses and burnt out cars on their way to school some mornings, it'd be like paradise up here.
It would indeed. And
Come here. What were you saying about Mr. Gallagher and the two?
No, I didn't tell you this, so keep it to yourself. I heard Mr. Gallagher and his two sons were arrested last night.
What?
They raided the house at 6 o'clock this morning. Apparently, no charges yet.
Not again.
Come here, it's shocking, isn't it? If it wasn't for the fact our Mickey was down living over the border and the priest said, I'd be in the same boat. It's sickening all the yellow for us.
I sick them this day. But you know what? I mean, Mr. Gallagher.
But you know what you were just saying? How do you fathom this situation? I don't think you'll be able to fathom this at all.
I'll tell you something, Mary. We just do what we've always done, and that's get on with it. Same as
go.
always.
Right,
Same as always.
I mean, look, that's terrible. Terrible. Right, look, but the reason we're in the houses tonight, it's about the heating. Right, what kind of heating you might want, what kind of heating you really have. It's just generally about the heating, when they do the improvements.
God, Paddy, I wasn't expecting that. But sure, look, you'd have to talk to my Paddy about that. And as you know, he's not here at the minute. It'll be another week or two before he's back. Can it wait?
Is it and still in Manchester, is he?
Aye, for now, him and his brothers, they're all working for the same crowd over there. God, they'd love to get a job back in Derry. But sure, look, you know what it's like. What's the problem with the heating anyway?
No, Lily, there's nothing wrong with it. You know what I mean? We're looking to make improvements to all the houses, as I said.
About time.
Yeah, well, look, see, they're thinking about putting radiators in all the rooms, talking about electric heat, maybe even away.
See, different people want different options, Lily. That's what it is. And God forbid if we can't keep them make their own minds up.
Look, we want to be in the position to tell them what everybody wants and what they need when we go to our next residence meeting.
God. I remember the time when they just walk into your house and check to see whether it was clean. Imagine. And
right.
now they're actually asking us what we think. Times are moving on.
Yeah, it's all changed now, Lily.
Well, no, I wouldn't go that far. Remember how long it took them to get the buses and the shops up to here. But anyway, look, I'll talk to my Paddy about that and we'll see what we think. But I have to tell you, I like the fire. At least I know how to turn that on and off.
Just one more thing, Lily.
Here we go.
No, Lily, no, know what it is. We're just looking to set up a wee residence committee, and we were wondering if you would get involved.
You were just saying, remember, how good a help she was.
You were absolutely brilliant. And you see, to be honest, I have to say, I could really do with the help.
Look, we know your hands are full with your Paddy being away and all, but I need somebody to come on and help me sort these two clowns out.
That's true.
Mommy! Come quick! Or Mickey's outside and Dory's body's going to get shot!
What? I'm gonna kill him! Where is he?
He's not at the school.
I don't want me to come. I'll come with you.
I swear to God, that young fellow drive a cent to drink. Declan, run on, tell him I'm on my way.
Here, where do you think you're going?
Oh,
You're going to make me a cup of tea. Come on. Get away.
Spent the day chopping trees, stealing tires from the old farmer's yard, throwing stones, getting chased by the army to the old reservoir, and the rain, oh the rain, we wore like a coat of boyhood blame. We all agreed that we had built a thing of beauty, and that we all should stand guard. When it was time, we lit the match, stood there waiting, with hope in our hearts, and the blaze, oh the blaze, tore through the sky 1,000,000 miles high. On bonfire night, we chased the girls from Malin Gardens onto the roof of St. Mary's School. We stood on the edge, pretending bravado, the fear of the fall, the fear of a kiss. Later on, we heard the news, 2 men were fighting. They said someone died too. We ran as fast as we could, silently hoping there was no one we knew. And the blood, oh the blood, ran like a stream into the mud. On bonfire night, we stayed up all night, looking over the city till the fires had dimmed to embers and ash, and all we could hear was the sound of it sleeping. Soon it would roll. The city would blast. And so it was, 81, the end of summer, a time to move on. We made a pact that we would always stick together, no matter what lay beyond. But the days turned to years, then turned to ghosts, then disappeared. Like bonfire night, we chased the girls from Malin Gardens onto the roof of St. Mary's School. We stood on the edge, pretending bravado, the fear of the fall, the fear of a kiss on bonfire night, bonfire night.
In spite of all the hurt and pain during the conflict, Craigan people continued to live their lives the best they could and took advantage of every opportunity that came their way.
We got educated, started businesses, emigrated, put on plays and concerts, sewed class clothes, became singing sensations in our granny's kitchens. We knitted, we baked, we got jobs in the factories, and we made sure that our mas gave us something back out of our wages.
This isn't Walton's Mountain, you know. We complained. We're known for complaining.
No, that's just you and your Jerry. You're two of Craigan's biggest complainers.
Rock and roll came and went, so did punk. Sure, wasn't the Undertones the best punk band in the world? Eh? Remember your Mickey's hair. He was like your man from a flock of sparrows or pigeons or whatever he's called. He nearly went on fire one night when he put that much hairspray on it. And then came the rave, eh? When the happy Mondays turned into the terrible Tuesdays and the woeful Wednesdays.
You are so uncool and broke free. I really am. Music has moved on. Superstars win Grammys by making music in their bedrooms after they've broken up with someone, and everyone breaks their hearts crying through the concerts.
Here, whoa. We're getting way off track here altogether. This is about Craigan. Craigan, where we live now, today.
I know, we haven't mentioned the dark days, not since One Direction broke up.
But there were dark days too.
Yeah.
There was killing on the streets and the fear that every mother had, especially for her sons.
Days that left marks on everyone and every family in Craigan. Those have been well documented, sadly, and will never be forgotten.
When it all stopped, we thought we'd get something, because at the end of the day, we did deserve something.
Yeah, well, the least we deserve for somebody to openly say, listen, you have years of death on your streets, and here's something to compensate for the scandalous levels of social and economic injustices.
Like Disneyland or something?
Yeah.
Not quite, no, but I'm sure the Waynes would have loved that.
Some things happened for better, for worse, but ours is ours.
Yeah.
The factory's closing down, broke up how we lived. It ruined our prospects. Some people even had to go to work out in Kempsey or even Springtown.
Worse again, Australia, America, New Zealand, and God help us, Ballymena.
30 years of peace is something, and it's something we won't take for granted, and we never should take for granted. But you know what? Some wounds take time to heal.
Aye, and there's people that think things are worse now than they were then. Families suffer new darknesses because of drugs, domestic violence, addiction, or poor mental health. But what do you think are our children going to tell their children about growing up here?
There's nothing to do.
I'm pretty sure I came out with that one myself about 20 years ago, and maybe my ma or my dad and my granny might have come out with that one too. That line is as oil as life before Netflix.
Stop making light of everything. I'm trying to say something important, and I want you to listen to me. This is what we want now.
Stop sharing pictures of perfect people. They don't exist. Teach us to be healthy and to like ourselves more.
Sometimes we need support from our families and friends. Sometimes we need help from our doctors for longer. Sometimes we need medication. Sometimes we just need a rest. Be gentle on us.
We want equal chances in everything. Everything. End of.
I want to walk to my friend's house without someone trying to sell me or my dad drugs. Stay away from our home and make your money someplace else.
Don't harm and insult me in the street just because I'm a girl.
Don't frighten us. We'll do our best. Just explain how. Better.
We want to learn together, and it'll make the world a better place.
Tell us the good news about how we can buy a house, buy a car, get jobs here. No prospects. We are as good as anyone from anywhere.
We want to be welcomed. You say we grow up too fast. Just listen to us. We make more sense than you sometimes.
Don't judge anyone. We don't like hearing only the negative stories about where we live.
It's easy to run people down, hard to build people up. Don't be hypocrites.
This is our Craigan, and we can see everything and be anything we want to be, living at the top of this beautiful green hill.
It's time for new stories.
Not repeats.
Here's to another 75 years.
We'll see you in 2097 for the second series.
Right.
There is a green hill far away, without a city wall, where people grow together, resilient and strong. Where settlers lived within the age of bronze, where rafts were made upon its rocky ground, where James's soldiers rested at the time of the siege, where gentle deer did graze among the trees. There is a green hill far away, without a city wall, where people grow together, resilient and strong, where families found shelter in new homes, on empty land, no shops or transport close, where people came together to stand for equality, to challenge their oppression, to be free. There is a green hill far away, without a city wall, where people grow together, resilient and strong. Culture is made in the forms of art and song, where history has made its children strong. Though challenges are ahead, they all will be overcome. Community will work to right the wrong. There is a green hill far away, without a city wall, where people grow